Good morning, dear children. Let me move on to the lesson. What is thermal energy and heat? Okay, what is thermal energy and heat? I think all of you are familiar with the term heat. Okay, then suppose if you are standing in sunlight, then what do you feel? You feel hot. Okay, or suppose if you place your hands near the vessel of boiling water, in that case also you feel heat. Okay, the similar situations, in all the similar situations you have an experience with the heat. Okay, then in this chapter actually we will study what is heat and thermal energy, then how do we feel heat, then what are the different ways for transferring heat, how we can measure the amount of heat energy, and all these things we will study in this lesson. Okay, then let's see about thermal energy. Thermal energy. As you know, all the substances are made up of extremely small particles called molecules. Okay, all the substances are made up of extremely small particles called molecules. For example, you have familiar with the molecules of oxygen, then water, then iron. They are made up of some kind of molecules. Okay, and also when we consider water, then air and sand, all these substances are made with the molecules. Okay, and they are made with different kinds of molecules. That means the molecules of water is different from air, that is also different from the molecules of sand. Okay, but one thing is common to all, that is all molecules show movement. Okay, the molecules show movement. How the molecules can move? Due to energy. Okay, the molecules show movement because of it possesses energy. Due to the possession of energy, the molecules shows movement. Okay, so the sum of energy possessed by all moving molecules in a substance is called thermal energy. Okay, what is thermal energy? The sum of energy possessed by all moving molecules in a substance is called thermal energy. The sum of energy possessed by all moving molecules in a substance is called thermal energy. Okay, suppose if we consider water in a tumbler, then what is the thermal energy of water in a tumbler? Actually, it is the sum of energy possessed by all molecules of the water in the tumbler. That is actually the thermal energy. Okay, everything around us has thermal energy. Suppose when we consider ice, even the molecules of ice show some sort of movement. So, the cold object also possesses some sort of thermal energy. The cold object also possesses some sort of thermal energy because the molecules of that object also show some sort of movement. Okay, that is about thermal energy. What is thermal energy? The total or the sum of energy possessed by all moving molecules in a substance is called thermal energy. Okay. The next about temperature. Next about temperature. As you know, thermal energy actually it is the total energy possessed by moving molecules in a substance, that is called the thermal energy. Let's come to temperature. Actually, it indicates how hot or how cold a substance is. How hot or how cold a substance is. Okay. Actually, it indicates the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Temperature actually indicates the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Also, it shows, actually it is a measure of how fast or how slow the molecules are moving. How fast or how slow the molecules are moving. Okay, temperature shows how hot or how cold the object is. Also, it is a measure of how fast or how slow the molecules are moving. So we can define the temperature as it is the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Okay, temperature indicates the degree of hotness or coldness of an object. Okay, let us consider an example. If we suppose when we take a bucket and fill it with the tap water, the molecules of the water show some movement. So it has thermal energy. So the water in the bucket possesses thermal energy and have certain temperature. Now take a cup and fill it with the water from the bucket. Okay, and this the water in the cup also possess thermal energy, and also the water in the cup as well as in the bucket are at the will be the same temperature. Okay, but the water in the bucket has more thermal energy than the water in the cup, because the water has more water, the bucket has more water. Okay, so actually the temperature that indicates the level of thermal energy. Temperature actually indicates what? The level of thermal energy. Level of thermal energy. But it does not tell anything about how much energy possessed by a substance is. Okay, so actually temperature indicates the level of thermal energy, but it does not tell anything about how much energy is possessed by the substance. How much energy is possessed by the substance. Okay, and the temperature of a substance can be measured by a device called thermometer. Okay, temperature of a substance can be measured by a device called the thermometer. Then how we can measure temperature using thermometer, that we will study in the following sections. Okay, then which device is used to measure temperature? Thermometer. Thermometer is a device which is used to measure the temperature of a substance. Okay, so we have learned about thermal energy and temperature. Okay, next about heat. Next about heat. Actually, what is heat? Heat actually indicates the flow of thermal energy. The flow of thermal energy. Okay, the flow of thermal energy is actually the heat. Then how the thermal energy can flow? How? Only when there is a temperature difference. Okay, only when there is a temperature difference, then only the thermal energy can flow from one object to another. Actually, the flow of thermal energy can be compared with the flow of water. Okay, you know how water can flow from one region to another region only when there is a level difference or height difference. It always flow from a high level to a lower level. Similarly, the thermal energy is always flow from a region of high temperature to a region of low temperature. Okay, the thermal energy can flow from a region of high temperature to a region of low temperature. That means there may be a temperature difference. Then only the thermal energy can flow from one region to another region. Okay. And the flow of thermal energy will continue until both the objects attain the same temperature. Both the objects attain the same temperature. The flow of thermal energy will continue until both the objects attain the same temperature. Okay, suppose here also we can consider an example. See, suppose if you are taking a hot water in a cup. Actually, the thermal energy that flows from the hot water to the surrounding cold air. Okay, and the flow of thermal energy will continue until the hot water and the surrounding air attain the same temperature. Okay, and also when we take a cup of cold water, then thermal energy will flow from surrounding warm air to the cold water until the cold water and the surrounding air attain the same temperature. Okay, and also suppose when we place a metal rod, in a hot water, what will happen? Heat flows from metal rod to the cold water, and this heat flow will continue until the metal rod and the cold water will attain the same temperature. From this we can conclude that thermal energy will flow from one region to another region only when there is a temperature difference, and also it always flow from a region of high temperature to a region of lower temperature. Okay. Then how we can measure the amount of heat? For this we are using a standard international unit. Okay, standard international unit. That is SI unit. Your SI unit of heat. That is actually joule. Okay, joule is the SI unit of heat. Okay, joule is the SI unit of heat. Okay, which is the SI unit of heat or standard international unit of heat? Joule. Okay, and the older unit of measuring heat is calorie. Okay, the older unit of measuring heat is calorie. Okay, which is the SI unit of heat, actually it is joule. Okay, and its symbol is J, capital J. And the older unit for measuring heat is, okay, that is about thermal energy, temperature and heat. Okay. Next, about what are the different ways in which heat energy is transferred. Okay, transfer of heat energy. Different methods in which heat energy is transferred. Actually, there are three methods by which heat energy is transferred. First is conduction, and the second is convection, and the third is radiation. Okay, these are the three methods through which heat is transferred: conduction, convection and radiation. Okay, in today's class we can discuss about conduction. Okay, actually it is a process by which heat is transferred between two objects of varying temperatures. Okay, suppose when two objects having different temperatures are in contact with each other, the process of conduction takes place. For example, when we place a metal rod in a flame, the heat is transferred from flame to the metal rod. Okay, that process is actually conduction. The next is how the process of conduction takes place. Okay, as you know, all the substances are made up of extremely small particles called molecules. When we consider solid, the molecules are closely packed. Okay, when we consider solid, the molecules are closely packed. Okay, and suppose when we heat a solid, the molecule near the source of heat that attain energy or they gain energy and start to vibrate faster. Okay, the molecule near the end of the source of heat attain thermal energy and starts to vibrate faster. Okay, next it collides with the neighboring slower and colder molecule. Okay, so it passes its energy or passes its thermal energy to the neighboring molecule. Okay, so it attains thermal energy and starts to vibrate faster. Okay, and this will continue until the thermal energy is transferred throughout the solid. Okay, and here in the process of conduction, actually the molecules are not moving. Okay, due to the vibration of molecules, thermal energy is transferred from one molecule to the another. Okay, the molecule remain in the in their own places. Okay, the molecules remain their own places. Okay, so in the process of conduction, actually conduction is the process by which heat is transferred between two objects of different temperatures. Okay, the heat is transferred between two objects of different temperature. Here the process of conduction is actually due to the vibration of molecules. That means the molecules remains in their own places. Okay, and this is the process of heat transfer in solids. Okay, in solids actually heat process or heat transfer takes place through the process of conduction. In solid heat transfer takes place through the process of conduction. Okay, that is when a warmer object is in contact with a colder object, a heat flows from warmer object to the colder object until both the objects attain the same temperature. Until both the objects attain the same temperature. So conduction is the process by which heat transfer occurs between two objects of varying temperatures. Okay, actually the conduction takes place through the vibration of molecules. The molecules always remains in their own places. Also, the heat transfer in solids is mainly due to conduction. The heat transfer of solids is due to conduction. Okay, that is about the process conduction. Okay, next about good conductors and poor conductors. Okay, good conductors and poor conductors. Suppose in a winter morning, suppose if you touch a wooden object or a metal, actually the metal feels colder than wood. Okay, say during winter this wood and the metal that are at a lower temperature than our body. So suppose when we touch them, what will happen? The heat is transferred from our body to metal or wood. Okay, and here the heat transfer takes place more fastly in metal, because metal is a good conductor of heat, okay, than wood. Okay, so it feels colder than wood. Okay, so what is mean by good conductor? Actually, certain substances, the heat can be transferred very well. The heat can flow very easily through them. Such objects are called good conductors. Metals are considered as good conductors. Okay, and through some other materials, the heat cannot flow as easily. Okay, and such materials are called pure conductors. Heat cannot flow easily through them. Such materials are called poor conductors. Okay, that is based on the way in which heat passes, the materials can be classified as two, good conductors and poor conductors. Through good conductors, the heat energy can flow very easily. For example, metals. And through poor conductors are otherwise called insulators. Poor conductors are called insulators, and those materials through which heat cannot flow very easily. Okay, for example, plastic, wood, then air, glass, these are examples for pure conductors or insulators. Okay, and suppose if we place a plastic spoon in a cup of hot milk, actually there is about little transfer of heat through the plastic spoon. Okay, hardly there is no transfer of heat through the plastic spoon, because it is a pure conductor or it is a insulator. Okay, that is why all the metal vessels are fitted with heat insulating plastic materials. Okay, the metal vessels are provided with heat insulating plastic materials, because it is a pure conductor or insulator of heat. Okay, that is about good conductors and pure conductors. Okay, okay, that is the end of today's class. Thank you, children.